Alrighty guys, and welcome to Deck Reveal. Playing something new. Two Blue Eyes. Running all the archetype here. OG, Red Eyes Black, Dark Magician as well. These are the only garnets, not really garnets, but vanillas in the deck, I guess. We'll go more into them a little bit later. Triple Black Metal, and following up with the Darkness Metal. Pretty common with Dragon Link decks. Now we have the rank 8 extenders, and then the Twin Dragons. Here are the Halki Helpers, what I call them. Pretty much just drop them before you make your plays, and then at any time, like especially at the end of if you go into Striker and then Romulus, and then you go into, you're able to use the Adhara to get it out without having to use the, Rocket Tracer to get the Halki play out. Tracers and Silver Rocket. I normally use Recharger, but I don't have it. This is just pretty much straight combo for Boral Savage. Now, something a lot of Dragon Link decks aren't running. I run the 3 Parallel Exceed. That helps me out a ton with getting the final board out. With like one of those is essentially the Union Carrier, or pretty much any other part of any, like Anaconda, or pretty much anything. This is just the other half, or it makes Union Carrier by itself. Now we're proceeding into the one-ofs. The main Halki summon, White Stone. The main sender for Dragon Ravine, Protor, and the extra deck Lockout. Hand trap support, Nibiru, and Ash. I need another Nibiru. Other than that, I'm pretty much set. I want to try to add in Noctovision, but I don't have the cards at this moment. And then pretty much, universal spells, Quick Launch, Chaos Space. You have your Ravine and Boot Sector, and then Red Eyes Fusion. Monster Reborn. Pretty standard for most Dragon Link decks. Really nothing out of the craziness. I don't run the one Dragon Link combo to continue off with like Vylon and everything, so I don't run any of those cards. Pretty much the craziest is Red Eyes Fusion. That's why I run the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Because with this deck, it has a multi-level. Like you have your full combo all the way to Saryuja and then making the full board, and then if you don't make that, you can make a smaller board without so many rank 8 extenders, which would be like Boral Savage, Union Carrier with Dragoon, which is really, depending on how you play it, only a 2-card combo. For the extra deck, Striker, Romulus. Pretty straightforward and normal. Halki Fibrax and Link Cross. Gotta have one without the other. And then we have the real Dragon Link plays, LP Pisty and the Protected Whelp. And pretty much this is the key combo right here. Protector Whelp. You want to have Halki bring out Stone, and then Halki make Link Cross. Link Cross and Stone makes Formula. And then Formula and another token make Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher brings back the Stone, and then the Stone goes to LP below Link Cross. Link Cross and Martial Metal Marcher makes the Protector Whelp, and then LP effect to bring out, most of the time Brotor. Brotor then uses effect sent to grave for Pisty. Pisty uses his effect, and then you can bring another monster back, and then you make Saryuja. I'll go over the combo as well. And then you have Anaconda and Union Carrier. That's it for the links. Synchros, Formula, Martial Metal Marcher, and Boral Savage. And then this one's kind of a little off the rails. I went a little bit low key instead of going like Appaloosa. I went Hope Harbinger with the rank 8 special summon support and Dragoon. If you have Anaconda and the fusion, you got to have Dragoon. So the base of the combo, I'll run through it a little bit. I mentioned it a little bit before, but mostly it's you don't want to get the blue eyes to your hand. The blue eyes are your send support, are your half of, because you get this on the field from the combo. So 8-star, 8-star, you get your Hope Harbinger. This one gives you another dragon, so you send Saryuja and the dragon or the effect dragon for Anaconda. And then if you have potentially if you have Parallel Exceed or two, you can get 2 dragons out, or pretty much any same attribute, you can make the Union Carrier. So the main combo for it, most of the time, is you want to see Adhara on the field, and then potentially go into either one of these if you have it. If you buy Chaos Space, or however you would do it. Chaos Space is the easiest. Pretty much send any light or dark to the grave, and then get either one of those. So potentially, you send this for Striker effect, send the other one out, banish, space to the grave. No, one thing you want to always make sure you do first with Chaos Space in the grave and the Collapse Serpent, you want to make sure you send this to bring this back to the deck. Send the Chaos Space, that way you can draw a card. Because then when you send Wyver Burster and Striker for Romulus, you get you can then search for the Collapse Serpent. Romulus effect, and then at that point you have your Halki play. If you don't even have to use your Union or your Rocket Synchron, which you can, but if you didn't want to use that, resource, you could just take that Halki, Halki Fibrax effect, bring out the White Stone. And then go Link for Cross with, excuse my super cheap tokens, 2 tokens. one token for formula. So Whitestone's chain 1, formula's chain 2. So blue eyes to hand, and then draw. So that's +2 off that, and then formula the other token for Martial Metal, effect of Martial Metal to bring back Whitestone. At this point, send Whitestone for LP. Send these two for Protector Whelp. LP effect to get Brotor. Brotor effect to send the blue eyes you got to grave to get, say, Levianeer. So there's Levianeer. And then you send Brotor to grave for Pisty. Pisty effect to bring back, where are you? Bring back Whitestone. And at this point, depending on, if you're able to get into Striker, you can make Striker. You could, whatever normally, but you can do 1, 2, 3, and 4 to grave for Shuffle, plus the other blue eyes to hand off of Whitestone. So, draw 3 or draw 4, send back 3, and say I draw a Galactic Spiral. Say I draw a Quick Launch. Pretty much any brick I can then send back, and say I get a Parallel. So at that point, that's not even using any cards that I started with. Without using any hand starter cards. Pretty much only the one, that Ahara, and the Collapse Serpent, or whichever, the light or dark one, whichever one you would have. So at this point, I only have a couple of extra deck monsters left: Anaconda, Union Carrier, Savage, Herald, or Hope, and Dragoon. This is pretty much your end board. You use all the cards to get here, and then these hit the board. So number 1, you want to start with Saryuja effect to bring out the blue eyes. Then go with the Levianeer effect, white or light only. So that way you can summon back a dragon. You can send your stone, Protector Whelp, and Cross. You want to keep the other blue eyes in the grave, just in case if maybe you get ashed on a blue eyes or something like that. You want to have this one in here for Levianeer to bring it back so you can make Hope Harbinger. But if you say you have the blue eyes on the field, easily bring back Brotor, because you really don't have anything in your grave that's gonna help you much more than that. So Brotor is just the easiest. And then you still have 3 cards in hand, and then others, because we only used 2 cards. We banished, so yeah. And then at this point, you want to have these to make your Hope Harbinger, increase attack. Now you have your 1, 2, dark, light. Get your Galactic Spiral out. Send your Galactic Spiral and your Omni Brotor for Union Carrier. I fucked up somewhere. So what I'll have to do, normally you'd have extra cards in your hand, so it can I haven't used my normal, so we'll start with something like black metal. Get black metal out there. That way you can make the Anaconda. So there's that. So you normal summon black and Saryuja. Bring out the Anaconda because you summon the Anaconda and then you send the black metal. Summon Anaconda, you get your Parallel Exceed effect. Bring out the other one. So then you have these two and say 3 cards in your hand because you haven't used any yet. These are both level 4, so you want to do quick launch to bring out Tracer. You can have Tracer and the Exceed for Savage. Still have black metal in your hand plus 3 cards. And then you would go Saryuja for Savage. And then you would go Union Carrier effect. Some say to equip it to Hope Harbinger. I've normally been equipping it to Borreload, but I guess we'll go with Hope Harbinger. That way it's a little bit more for those who are knowledgeable. And then you would go Anaconda effect for Dragoon, sending Red Eyes Dark Magician and Red Eyes Fusion. So at that point, I would say I have this and 3 cards. And then I would also have the Boot Sector and the Dragon Ravine, which I haven't even used yet. So really it can be done absent of the Dragon Link. You know, you can use it as like a call or like a, you know, play starter. That way they can negate it and then you can do the things you need to do. But essentially, this is what you make. You know, it was a little bit different. I think I did something different than I would normally do it. Normally, I think what I would have done, you know, you do the Brotor. I had the Brotor and Saryuja. I think I should have used the Brotor and the Saryuja to make Anaconda. Use Parallel when it's summoned. Bring the other Parallel out. Then I had the 2 Blue Eyes and the Levianeer. That makes Hope Harbinger. Then the two Parallels make Union Carrier, and then all I had to do was use the quick launch to get out Rocket Tracer. And then you can easily just like drop the Boot Sector on the field. You don't even use it. Have Tracer pop the Boot Sector, and then you would get, I don't have Recharger, but or Silver Rocket, and then Silver Rocket and the Tracer make Saryuja. So there's really multiple ways you can do it. That's what really makes this deck so good, is even with, you know, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes all in the same deck, it still works well together and, you know, can get a lot of stuff done.